it is really shocking and really takes citizens aback and makes us wonder what's important to government. A country that can't take care of its own children is a country that doesn't have a future at all, Michelle. So it's really, really disheartening. But we're doing our best to make sure that we have this news out there and attention is put on it. And ultimately, justice needs to be served here, bottom line.
I mean, other activists like yourself have said, you know, part of what we need in this country is not only, Lisa Vetten this morning put it as 3 minutes of outrage following a gruesome attack like the one that we've just been reporting on, but a sustained pressure on the kinds of violence that our children is facing.
100%. And we need all activists, all forward-thinking South Africans to stop working in silos. We need to come together and really push because us being outraged now, next week there's another issue and it's all forgotten. But we need to get to a point where we can even lobby legislators, courts, to be able to start looking at laws and changing laws specifically for people such as rapists, pedophiles. These aren't your normal criminals. These are people that actually kill a country's future generations. And we need to really make sure that we give them sentences that are befitting to their heinous crimes. And
it needs to be quick.
It needs to be efficient. It needs to be venomous.
Especially in a case like this one.
Especially with cases like this, because I'm really surprised, you know, that government has really said nothing about this. But also the kind of lack of empathy that the public has. Perhaps maybe we have become numb to what's happening around us, because every single day a child has been raped, a child has been molested, a woman is being killed. You know, it's just gone haywire. And I don't know when government is going to finally say, listen, we are in a crisis. Let us put full attention to this, because this is the future of our country. Instead of politicking around, and actually make sure that we get these criminals behind bars for a very, very long time. And as I say, we need to start looking at the laws we have. One, to enforce them, as you say, quickly. Two, to amend the laws that aren't effective. As I say, we can't have these guys in normal prisons and having 3 meals a day, having access now to education, coming out as doctors and lawyers after they have done such heinous crimes. So it's really, really something that we need to pull together as society and make sure that we get our laws active and we get our laws to be fully functional, as it were. These need to be higher than Schedule 6. I don't know, I'm not a lawyer, but we need to put these guys in I don't know, underground somewhere. They don't belong with the rest of humanity.
I want to talk about your discussions with the Dros restaurant in a moment, but I want to just focus a bit more around how government can shift more of our resources to focus on this war that is being waged on our women and children. I mean, the issue of DNA testing centers, for an example, they're incredibly lacking. I think we have one in Gauteng, when we should have one in every region.
Every single region.
Our policing, the fact that we are missing thousands of police officers in the force. I mean, these are all of the issues that build up to the challenges we're facing. Competency
at police stations. I mean, off the top of my head, I'm remembering the Katlego Georgia case in Mamelodi, Pretoria, where the family went to report the child missing, and they turned the family away, say, you need to wait for 48 hours before you. There is no such law, but that did not pass through the channel, the system of policing, so that the people at the front line know what to do and know what to say. And we've been having a campaign since then to actually monitor police stations around the country, where last week we were in Hammanskraal with issues of dockets going missing at police stations, especially when it comes to gender-based violence. It seems as if people don't realize that this is actually a pandemic. This is a crisis in the country. You know, police will just say, no, it's a family issue. But the next day you hear that a woman has been killed at that place. So we need to also train our law enforcement agencies to become sensitive and get with the program, to understand that we're at war with our women and our children, and we need to get this fixed. And I guess that's why movements such as Not In My Name SA are trying to occupy the space, but we really do need help of everybody. This is not a competition of which movement or organization is going to do so much work and so on. We need to get every forward-thinking South African on board and focus on making sure that we get swift justice, we get preventative measures, and everybody is conscientized with regards to this issue. Otherwise, we won't have a South Africa in the next 30 years.
Now, your discussions with the Dros restaurant, what was it about the statement that they released that was lacking for you?
Right. We felt that it was really nonchalant. It was almost like a 2 paragraphs just saying that we've noted the incident. It's not a little incident. A child has been raped on your premises. And we went to make them understand that you need to be empathetic, 1. 2, you need to also be seen as a restaurant that cares about people who are patrons at your restaurant. You need to also be crying foul and saying this is an outrage and condemning this with the strongest possible language possible. You can't just say a little incident and we want media and the public to stay away until the police are done with this. You need to show
that you are as outraged as the rest of us are.
Exactly. Yeah. So we went to call them out, and that's unacceptable. You need to do better because we are patrons. Otherwise, we're going to call on South Africa to vote with their feet and go to other places. But 2, the child was raped at your place. What preventative measures are you going to, as Dros, put in place to make sure that an incident like this never happens again? And fortunately, the CEO managed to talk to us, and we got somewhere. They have now promised and put themselves in a corner to say they're going to take care of the child's medical costs. 2, they're going to take care of the counseling for the child, the family, and the staff that was obviously affected by the whole incident at Dros on the day. Most of all, we also wanted to make sure that they invest in technology, that if I'm sitting at a certain area in the restaurant, even if my child is in the playpen, I can just look up at a screen and be able to see what's happening in the playhouse. There needs to be one entrance into the playhouse and one entrance out, and the child needs to be signed in by a parent or an elder, whoever's coming with the child to the restaurant, needs to be signed in and signed out by the parent. If the child needs to come and eat or go to the loo, the designated waiter for that table needs to be the one that actually does that. Otherwise, we're going to continue having incidents in our restaurants because we don't know who's coming in and who's coming out. And perpetrators today don't have a badge that says, I'm the pedophile, I'm the rapist. Anybody can be that person. And that's the scary part. We're fighting an invincible enemy. So we need to be as vigilant as possible, and we need restaurant chains to be as visible as possible. I'm glad to say that Dros has said and promised that they're going to do these things, and they'll hopefully be releasing a statement on their side as soon as possible. Furthermore, Tuesday, the 2nd, the alleged rapist is obviously going to court, and we will be out there in our numbers to make sure and to lobby and to speak to the national prosecuting authorities. As you said, deal quickly and venomously with this case. He cannot afford to see another light of day if he's guilty here. We can't afford that, and our judges need to be stringent and strict with regards to this and give him a sentence befitting this thing.